G'day guys, it's Jay here all the way from Australia. How's everyone going today? We're having a quick chat with Kylar. Am I right? Have I got that name right? I was just double checking. I pronounce names terribly. And this is a part of the Life Theories channel with myself, Sarah, Cortez, and Diana. And we're chatting with Kylar today. We have a wonderful chat worked out and ready to go. What we are doing, as we all say, we always love to hear many stories when we started this channel. And we had Kylar on, Cortez and I had Kylar on about six to eight.
It was almost a year ago.
And I remember that when we couldn't use the battery on your phone was dying and there was some real cool stuff, and then suddenly bang, on Cortez and I gone, wow, what was that? Had to get it back on. Lots of change for you, so welcome. And we're going to have a chat now, and let's find out where you're at.
What we need is the energy to just go straight up and straight down. And if it can't do that, you need to look at why, because that is what's going to create your attachment. That's what's going to cause the trauma bond. That's what's going to make you feel like people aren't showing up for you. What is it does cause the isolation to do that, because until you push through those, you're technically still reaching and just piecing shit together, which is okay because we're human and we still need to survive. Yep. So I made a phone call to someone because I need help, and I really didn't want to ask them for help, but guess what? If I can get my problem solved, I'll put that aside. And so we've got
to basically get ourselves right in that way. And we've always been givers and stuff. And as I said, it comes down to what happened when we were children, as far as I'm concerned, because that's how we were influenced.
Right. And so,
keep going. Sorry, you're right.
It really is detachment. You have to make your move detached, make your move detached, make your move detached. It doesn't matter how dirty they did you before. It's about how much have you held on to that. It's not about what the future is going to bring with this person. It's about how attached you are to that. It has nothing to do with anybody else, but you are assigning roles based on how they feel compared to your masculine and feminine upbringing.
You got, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When you assign these roles externally, it's this one's mommy, this one's daddy, this one's mommy, this one's daddy, which when I work as a pro dominatrix, okay? And so the whole I'm mommy and daddy. How do you think I get a grown man to call me daddy at 120 pounds? That is energy. Okay, that is energy priming, and that is tapping into my primal masculine.
And safety. I guess safety is a lot of things. People.
Oh my, yeah.
Safety people just don't feel safe around a lot of other people, and then they wonder why. And then when you crack it, they go, "Oh, you can't do that." But then, as the Tao says, you're just got to let it go.
Safety.
You really do. To a point where I'll put this to you. You can sort of put your theory to it. I still believe we're mammals at heart. So you look at the lion, right? The lion's got a pride, right?
Great. This is awesome. Okay, go on.
No, we still. The difference between lions and humans is that lions go into the pride and they just, not even mate. They just stick together, right? Elephants, they all stick together without thinking, right? Here, we put too much emphasis on the thought of what's going to happen, how it's all happening, and all our bloody insecurities, all this other shit.
Okay.
As you said, we should just be, and that's it.
I'm smiling so big right now because I use the animal kingdom a lot and how I work, because the animal kingdom is innately connected to the Tao, right? And so there's a reason that shamans study them. And so I took my daughter to the zoo a couple weeks ago, right? And as a dominatrix, we see shit. And so we're looking at the giraffes, and this giraffe leans over and drinks his homie's piss. Just shamelessly in front of 30 people, licks it right up, doesn't give a fuck. I'm like, ha, if only people were so accepting. This dude drank his friend's piss in front of 30 people and didn't give a shit. I'm like, people would be so much happier if they just realized their kinks are just what fucking mammals.
Where was I going with that one? It was a case of, I guess, really working on those lessons. Mine is a lot about trust, and also looking at something repeating, looking at the processes of your life. For example, say a relationship, you get in the same relationship with the same people all the time, or the same result comes out. For example, say it's I'll make it easier it's male and female. Say you get with another, say you get with a female, but the same result comes up. Something.
It will.
It will, because you haven't worked out what the lesson is.
So so that can be a trap sometimes. that the feeling like it's a lesson can be a trap, because that's an idea in itself. And
okay.
So the feel that we have to be taught something, while yes, there's validity to it, because there is still this, like, you know, we're still working within a cycle of others. But when you kind of take that out of it, like, God's not testing you, God is neutral. So if you feel like it's a test, you're applying extra pressure to yourself, and like it's literally just,
I wouldn't say, okay, so I take that back. So it probably come across the wrong way, but it's not a test, but
like, no, what you're saying, there's a nuance to that.
Yeah, it's a case of I guess we're not tested. We go through the experiences, and we're either given these experiences for the people to give us the experience to be better, or to be better, but and then understand these basic universal laws and universal principles that we go through, and you look at it and go, hang on a minute, and then you go back to what you said, accepting the situation for what it is and going with the flow, and going, what did I take from that? And I think that's very powerful. What do you think?
Well, absolutely, because here's the thing: is it's all in the same motion, and this is why it gets so, we're so used to there being these two. It's really not like that. And so when you realize that you're flip-flopping, that's your cue in itself. It's not what the thought is. It's the fact that there's something is juggling in there. So remove the thought, merge the emotions, and then keep going. Because these little juggle points aren't real. They are an integration phase. There is nothing to.
Well, it's a thought. I'll go one step further with you. That makes total sense, because we go back to try and fix or whatever we try to feel. You can't do it. You can't do it.
It's not. These aren't even the real options. The real options over there. But because you're like balancing these impossible.
Yes. I agree. The lies that people tell you, whether it's lies towards you just to push you away or whatever it may be, but then people's I shouldn't. And this is just a mistrust of. This is just a mistrust, of course. Just saying, why the fuck would you say something like that and then go and do something else when you know I'm in the fucking room, you dickhead?
I had to walk away from some friends recently for similar, just stuff, over-promising and not really following through with the word. And that comes down to honor, is what I'm realizing, and just general character. And so when we are used to being non-prioritized, we aren't taught how to prioritize ourselves, or that it even matters.
That's right.
And
you're 100% right there.
Big fog around what that even means. And so what it means is that when that makes you uncomfortable, you just don't. You go into you and you're like, that hurts. And you just stop right there and you're like, what do you need, baby? I'm right here. And you sit there with your body.
And look, 100%. I'll tell you.
When it hurts, you just stop dead and you're like, I'm here.
You know what? You hit the nail on the head there, because you got to say to yourself, you are the source, you are the safe spot. But there's no buts. Okay, I could go, but you got your inner child and all this shit. But at the end of the day, you're exactly saying, and I got to stop saying but. And what you said was
you got to cut the butt. Like, you got to cut the
butt.
This
has been great. This has been fantastic.
I just know it's gonna get figured out, and I just need to figure out which pieces that bitch put together to get there.
Oh, that's fair. Look, so what you're saying is fantastic.
These pieces as your like reality steps, you're building a staircase of like, because every moment we're shifting, period. It is up to you whether you stay on the same repetitious timeline or not. If it keeps repeating, you keep playing the same tape. You keep putting the same movie in the projector screen and then be like, I wonder why it's not changing. Change the movie out, put a new one in, see what happens. But you can't, like, the old self is the old loop. And so if you see an old loop, you need to go figure out which self that loop is linked to, because your brain stores it until the polarity is discharged. Like, it is not personal. There is no such thing as rejection. There is no such thing as acceptance. It's all an idea that is based on a sensation. And so when we feel accepted, we feel aligned. And when we feel rejected, we feel not aligned. But it's not like that. That's just what.
That's how I thought. Exactly. You're right. This is exactly. We gotta.
None of it.
We've just got. we've got to love, and it comes down to, from all we've said, we've got to love ourselves and just go, why are we disappointed in someone who disappoints us? We go, and that's what the Tao says, just go with the flow. That's a lesson. So you go, right, you're going to go and stick your hand on a stove. Will you do it again? Absolutely not, because it hurts.
Right.
That's your lesson.
Right.
So we've, as humans, we bloody complicate it.
And it is ego. And so ego's job is to not die. And so
no, not die. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I agree with you there.
So we're literally asking it to die. And what happens during an ego death, and I took an anthropology course and it was so enlightening. And I can't decide what I'm going to actually finish my degree in, because like I just like way too much shit. But this class like was all about death, and it was kind of triggering with everything. But I realized that like, and this also can go into the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which I like read a few pages of and couldn't do anymore.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I've heard of that one.
Oh man, it tripped me out after dying. I'm like, and then all these loops. I'm like, I can't. Yeah, that was the only thing that's ever freaked me out.
Fantastic.
And so you start realizing that there's no such thing as death. When you watch body die and come back, and then die and come back, the only part of you that suffers is the ego that doesn't understand. Letting go, though, is processing the trauma. And so when we've been hurt in a loop a lot, we have to go backwards through the same loop almost as many times, because it's programmed. And so to reprogram it, we have to repeat it the other direction the same amount of times, because it's a velocity thing.
That makes sense, because so, I guess repeat the lesson as well, because we've been, it's like riding your bike. You got to ride your bike so many times till you get the lesson, till you can actually do it without. I say do it without thinking. So I'm practicing my guitar. I'm going to practice until I can go run that thing right. I can play that now without even thinking.
Right. So when we're assigning a new self-concept, what we're calling lessons is actually the lesson is the persistence. Like you're telling the universe, I am this now. It's going to throw you something to see if you actually believe that. Yeah. So that's what you think the lesson is. Can you maintain your new self-concept in these external circumstances?
That's absolutely spot. That's exactly what I'm going through now. Exactly.
Like, can you stand in what you say you are, or are you not that yet? And if you are not that yet, that is the lesson. Figure out.
You're not that yet. That's right. You're not that yet.
Write down what is not that until it burns off. And here's the thing: if you don't figure it out as a natural burn-off point, and so you can't fuck up. Yeah, you can't figure it out. Oh well, and just realize you're about to bottom out, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's it. So it keeps coming through and through, which is great. Which I'm happy with, and we'll probably get. I'd love to get one of the girls or Cortez on and get you back on in a couple of months. We can go through our next swing, but resonating everything you said is spot on. So Kylar, I'm gonna end it here. But we're not. It's not the end. It's not the end. It's another. We've got another one to chat. But what you said is absolutely correct. If you go through and you'll see a preview of this first, and then I'll put the full video up. Put the full video will be up in a couple of weeks. But I'll put a preview of this chat up in a couple of days' time. Kylar, thank you so much for being involved. And where can people find you on social media if they want to catch up with you?
Yeah. Actually, if you want in on the direct fun and my current studies, you can find me on OnlyFans. I'm turning it into a therapeutic and vulnerability front for the wounded masculine. Yep. So if you want to see how I'm merging booty and healing, it's a pretty interesting ride. It's probably where I'm my most authentic self. But I also have a blog, quinnology.com, unless I lost my domain name. But I can get you both links to that. And then I have
send me that in the messenger, and we'll get it all up. But
I'm all over the place. So
thank you so much, and you have a safe, have a very safe and great day, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. See you later.